Welcome everyone to Bonifabcustom. Today we're going to be continuing our project, the Kris Dagger. And last week I had it almost ready for heat treat, but I just wasn't happy with the profile and the bevels. So I think I'm going to retouch them. Let's get right into it.
So I wasn't too happy with the way the bevel was last week. So I am going to extend it. What I want to do is, I found that when I did it last week, I kind of rounded it a bit and it's not connecting all the way to the center. I looked at some pictures on YouTube or some videos on YouTube. Other people have done this kind of blade and they kind of have these bevels connecting. So before I heat treat it, I'm gonna actually extend them so they're a lot bigger and they're connecting. So you're gonna see this nice weave in and out on the center of the blade. Now it just takes a little bit longer, so I'm gonna go back with the Dremel, not the Dremel, but the die grinder and the burr tool, and I'm gonna cut into that a lot more to connect it. Now what I did was I put some bluing ink on this blade right now so I can see where I'm cutting. So now that it's heat treated, it's back to sanding, but sanding to about a 300 or 400 grit, and the pattern looks really nice. Didn't look like it broke apart yet, so that's good. So here it is, polished to about a 350 or 320, something like that, and looks nice. And now it's time to put it into the acid. So I'm going to put it into the sulfuric acid for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to put it into the coffee etch.
So after the coffee, that pattern came out spectacular. It's beautiful. You see the copper in it, the 100+ layer. It's really nice, but enough staring at this thing. I want to finish this thing off. So let's start making the guard, handle, and pommel. Wow.
The welded screw on there worked out good, and I welded it with some stainless, and stainless seems to be a lot better of a bond between the stainless screw and the Damascus that I find. So now I can start fitting up a guard on here, and I have this scrap piece of copper here, something I casted before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, one side's machined already, the other side I'm going to machine down to a thickness about 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to cut the slot out for the guard and fit that in there first. So now I got the guard fit up pretty good, and it's all hammered, looks nice. I'm gonna start with the handle, and I'm gonna grab some wood, and I'm debating between something light and something with a lot of grain, but I think I'm gonna go with something lighter. And what I'll do first is cut it close to the handle I want. I'm going to use my 3D printed template, and then I'm going to cut the hole, or drill the hole, so it fits in, and get that all fitted up, and then I can start shaping the handle. So I decided to use this figured maple, and it's nice light wood and has these really cool spots, and we'll see how it turns out when I shape it. But I'm gonna get my template here, and I'm just gonna hold it against my wood, and just trace out the basic shape of what I want to cut. Now, this is gonna be the pommel, and so this will be the handle. So I'm gonna cut that off, and I'm gonna start off with making a hole through it so I can screw on the pommel and hold everything together. So I have it set up in my mill, and I have a drill in there, and the drill is just a size over 1/4 inch. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill as far as I can in the center of this block with the drill, and then I'll make 2 other drill holes next to it, and that will be for the rectangular shape of the Kris blade, the tang. And yeah, and after that I'll file it, or I'll put the drill in and kind of make it a little bit bigger and fit it right to that tang. Okay, so I have the handle basically fitted up. I have it sitting on there pretty tightly. I have a screw on there, and it looks pretty good.
And you'll notice that the block is actually twisted. And that's why I like to start with a bigger block, because we never know what's going to happen when we're cutting that groove in there, or that hole could twist or turn, and at least we have that excess material so we can form or shape that the handle. So now I'm going to drop some lines here just to make sure I know where it's going to be sitting, and I'll start roughing out the profile of the handle. Okay, so now I have the handle back on the dagger, and it's all fitted up nicely. And I kind of sanded it, kind of pre-sanded it to 120 grit, so it's nice and smooth. And now I'm going to draw on something I want to engrave, and I want to kind of have that swirl type engraving out here. Now, I'd never done that before, and I'm going to be trying it out. And I got a couple of special burrs for wood, and I'm going to try these things out, and they're pretty aggressive, but I'll put them on my my die grinder and see if I can either it'll look good, or I'm going to make a mess of it and then have to make a new handle. So I'm going to draw what I want to do on here first, and then I'll get to grinding it. So I have it all sanded, and I want to try and get some contrast from those swirls. So I'm going to try and burn the wood there and then sand it over again, just to see if it will stand out a little bit more, or it's going to ruin it. I don't know. So I give it a little bit with a Scotch-Brite, and I'm not sure if I like it yet. So I'm gonna leave it for now, and then I'm gonna work on the pommel, which is gonna be made out of copper too, and I'm gonna have to thread it, and it's gonna be round. And after I do that, I'm gonna hammer it just like I did the guard, and we'll see if how it matches up with that handle. The handle feels good, but I'm not sure about having the burn there. So for the pommel, I have this
old piece of copper, something I poured a while back, and I'm going to use that material. And what I'm going to do is scribe out a circle, and I'm going to cut it out, rough it out on my milling machine, and I'm going to finish it. And first thing I want to do is I'm going to put a little bit of the bluing ink on here. Let that dry, and then I'll scribe a circle on there representing my pommel. So now I have my pommel inside the mill again. I ground it on the belt grinder, and I'm gonna drill and tap a hole so I can screw it in to the bottom of the handle. Now for the fun part of hammering. So there it is. The Kris dagger's all done. It's a little bit long for a dagger. It's almost like a small sword, to tell you the truth. But in the end, I ended up putting the copper parts in the forge for a little bit, heated them up, and kind of patinaed them, and then just used some Scotch-Brite over top. And I finished the whole thing with some pure tung oil. So it came out really nice. I'm happy with it. Let me know what you think of the Kris dagger. Never made one of these before, but there was a lot of work that went into it. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and push that button for notifications for more videos like this one. Thanks.